was to be imaginary, I would hide under my bed with monsters that are scary, and I'd run around the world. Someone came in my room, and I wouldn't care what I become, although I would assume.
Petula was described by many as one of a kind. She had what one could call an extraordinary mind. Curious, curious, curious about everything she saw. She disliked it so when her friends called things a bore. One should question everything, she always said. There were times when Petula worried that her thoughts were too enormous to be contained in her head. How do I know that I am real and not just a dream of someone else? Well, that's easy, said her dad. Put your hand to your heart and feel the pulse. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. She felt her heart beat. Was there someone inside, knocking to meet? When winter came round and snow fell to the ground, Petula watched in amazement without a sound. She wondered why her snowman never came to life, for if snow could talk, it would be twice as nice. She would have a new friend in the frosty season and play outside with all the more reason. Just imagine all the things they could do. Oh, how she wished her imagination would come true. When Petula observed insects with their flimsy wings, she felt a sense of awe among other things. She looked around the garden when she thought they were near, and made buzzing sounds so that they might hear. At times the insects looked like artwork to her eyes. Could it be that an artist had painted real-life butterflies? But then she began to wonder why people couldn't fly, for if she was created with a set of wings, she'd fly far beyond the sky, to all the planets and comets that people in this world can't reach. Maybe she'd even end up on another Earth's beach. She could find the hidden treasures lost in outer space. All the stars and flickering lights with her finger she would trace. She decided that she would set her eyes beyond the moon, for she had a feeling that a greater star than the sun would be rising soon. Flying made Petula think about other things that float, but not things that could stay above water like a boat. Things like balloons that could stay in the air. When she saw things like this, she couldn't help but stare. How could she get the magic from inside that balloon? And if she drank all the magic, would she float out the room? Would her body grow fat and explode? Or would she just gently bounce down the road? On the days that it rained and poured, the thoughts in Petula's mind whirled and roared. Why was this water falling from the sky? Was it all the bad things people did that made God cry? And if she caught one of his tears in a jar, would it keep him close when she felt like he was far? Petula wondered how her organs stayed in her tummy, and how did her stomach know when she needed something yummy? When she was very hungry, she would hear a loud grumble, and when she felt it with her hand, she sensed a tumble. This must be our body's own warning sign, so that we end up eating our food at the right time. When Petula looked in the mirror, she wondered why our bodies grow and then stop. It must be intended, it can't merely be a flop. Imagine if we just grew taller and taller. Everything on earth would become smaller and smaller. She noticed that things in life seem planned out. It's like the world is someone's artwork, and they aren't messing about. On days that Petula visited her grandma, she liked to observe her from afar. Why did her granny's hair turn grey? Why didn't the hair that she was born with stay? And why did her skin begin to fold? Is it all just part of growing old? This made Petula think about age, and how every new day is like the turning of a page. Often Petula's grandma would give her treats, but there were responsibilities that came with these sweets. She had to brush her teeth until they were clean, front, back, and in between. But why do we only have one set of extra teeth? Imagine if there were countless rows that lay beneath. She could eat all the sweets in the world, for if one set fell out, the next would be shiny and pearled. When Petula observed her fish called Sam, she began to wonder, does he know who I am? Did he recognize the sound of her voice? And when he stared back at her, was it by choice? As she watched him swim round and round, she began to realize that just like Sam needs water, we need the ground. But how amazing Petula thought it would be if rather than lungs we had gills to explore the sea. Yes, indeed, we were created with feet that take us on journeys far beyond our home street. But it bothered Petula, because isn't there so much more? Just imagine being able to voyage to the ocean floor. She could see creatures never discovered before, and maybe she'd even find a secret world behind a barnacle door. Nights before Petula went to sleep, her thoughts drifted off to a place rather deep. She wanted to be able to choose her dreams. She didn't want unsettling ones that made her scream. How could she prevent the unknown shadows and gloom, so that she didn't have to be afraid to sleep alone in her room? In some of her nightmares there was no way out. Large figures and objects loomed about. There seemed to be nowhere to turn as she trembled with fear, and her heart skipped a beat as the monsters grew near. She blocked her eyes and ears so that she wouldn't have to hear. Petula wanted to choose dreams that had forests and flowers, ones that glistened and glimmered with fairy dust showers. Imagine if there was a manual where we could pick, just as easily as with a remote control flick. She wondered if somewhere our dreams get played on a screen, so that others have a chance to see what we've seen. When Petula's mom told her not to be bad but good, she wondered how it was that we always understood. How did everyone know the difference between the two? And why was being good a better thing to do? Her mom told her that goodness is something people feel deep inside. It's as if everyone has their own invisible guide. When Petula's mom and dad said, "I really love you," she wondered if this was something that they had learned to do. But it couldn't be, because Petula naturally loved things so much. It seemed to be a feeling she couldn't explain, see or touch. She loved her parents and her new puppy too. Sometimes she felt it so much she didn't know what to do. One day when she fell in love, would it be like falling in a hole? Or would it be enchanting and magical like the sharing of her soul? She thought that maybe instead of doing things for herself, she'd probably want to do it more for somebody else. One day she asked her dad the meaning of her name. She wondered whether it meant something special or if it's all just the same. Petula means one that seeks, he replied, one that searches and looks beyond all those things that hide, and is mystified at what they then find. And how perfect that name is for inquisitive you, because isn't that exactly what you love to do? Yes, Petula thought, that is me. If you don't look, you'll never truly see. So next when you see a disguise, don't be so quick to close your eyes, for what you are seeing is just the surface. Only removing the veil will reveal a purpose. Yes, coincidences happen all the time, but if you look close enough, you'll see the design. In the end, it's up to you. Here is the key if you know what to do.
Can't do this.
Hi! Hello!
Hello. Is someone dying in the background? Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Do you think someone's going to fund you if you're not serious about it?